Hey guys, it's me Makai. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys or talking about how to surrender to God. So if you've been on YouTube, I'm pretty sure you guys, or some of you, I don't know, I know I have, I've seen a plethora of videos on how to surrender to God. And, none of them has really, what I'm about to say is a little bit different from the ones that I've seen and heard. So hopefully, this video helps you guys and maybe just can help you just like I was in that situation. But it wasn't until recently, until I got my own conviction, that God made me understood or helped me to understand what he meant by how to surrender to him. So with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, so when God calls us to surrender, now there is a time to surrender. Like I said, that word is thrown around so loosely, surrendering to God, and it's like it has to be God's timing. When he lets you know it's time to surrender, then it's time to surrender, but it might not even be a season for you to surrender. So like I said, that's the number one thing, is it has to be God's timing. It has to be his will for you to surrender. Then also when it's his will, you will be able to, be acceptable to surrendering. It will come easy to you when you surrender, when it's his timing. Because there are countless times that I've tried to surrender and, follow the advice of these people on YouTube who have told me, surrender to God, and your life will change and this and that, surrender. And it's like, I've tried, but it just never worked out. And that's because it just wasn't God's timing. It just was not the timing. So that's the number one thing, is you have to make sure that when you surrender, it's God's timing. Because like I said, it could not, maybe it's not time. There's a season and there's a time for everything under the sun, as the Bible speaks about. So you have to make sure that it is, your time to surrender. Okay, so how to surrender? There's this in the Bible, there's this word called consecrate. And especially the context that's being used in some of the verses, you can tie it up with surrendering as the word we use today in modern day time, surrender. But if you see it in the Bible, the context is the same as consecrate, which is cleanse and to let go, to get rid of. And recently, for me, that's what God has called me to do, is, when God calls us to surrender, he's wanting us to forget about what was and what we did in the, just recently, and what was, and the things that happened recently. He's wanting us to have tunnel vision and focus on basically the new, because that's what God's doing. The new is coming in, and he needs you, he basically needs your undivided attention. So that's why when God calls you to surrender, he's wanting you to surrender and let go and cleanse the things that once was, or what you once knew, or what you once did. He just needs you to just forget about the past and move on. He needs you to, get focused. He needs you to hone in and get focused and have tunnel vision on the task that is at hand. Another reason why he wants you to surrender is because there will be instructions. He doesn't need you to be worried about what was, and he doesn't need you to keep, dwelling on the same thing and on the past, because he's not going to be able to come in and, you're going to miss basically your opportunity, your blessing. You're going to miss his instructions and the things he's trying to give you and to show you the way, the way out and what's for you in your life. And so that's why he wants us to basically, like I said, just to cleanse ourselves, just to get rid of, stop dwelling on the past, stop dwelling on what was. It could be just recently you've been through something. God wants you to stop dwelling on it. Stop speaking about it. Don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. Don't pray about it anymore to God. Don't bring it up to him. I'm not saying like in a sense where, I'm not trying to be rude about it. I'm just saying that, right now, God, when he wants you to surrender, it just means like, it's time to let go. It's time to let go, and it's time to focus, because what God's trying to do, he's trying to bring in the new thing. He's trying to bring in that new thing, and by him bringing that new thing, he needs your undivided attention. He needs you to focus. He needs you to focus on him so you can hear him clearly and see him clearly, so that goal, that thing that you guys are, doing can be accomplished. So, and like I said, the word consecrate, you'll see that in the Bible, just like Joshua. Joshua went around the camp. They were right before the promised land, and he told them, he said, consecrate yourselves for, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And that's what they needed to do before God brought them into the new thing, because even after that, God had instructed them to go around the city 7 times. God also instructed them to basically hide out until their enemies come out, and then they can ambush them, or basically set up an ambush. So there was work that needed to be done, and God was instructing them on how to get into the promised land so that they can have rest, their blessings, the thing that God was trying to get them, to accomplish, the goal that was at hand, which was to acquire the promised land. And so after Joshua told them, that's what they were doing. They were cleansing themselves. They were, forgetting about the things that once was, and just focusing on the things, focusing on the goal, focusing on the goal, and focusing on, God and what he's doing now. Like I said, if you are over here, keep bringing up the past and keep talking about this and that, or you just keep bringing about what was, you're going to miss on what is. You're going to miss on that opportunity. You're going to miss it. So that's why God needs you to just get rid of all that, so that you can, so you can bring in that new thing. And that's what surrendering is to, God, is cleansing yourself, letting go, getting rid of. And I'm telling you guys, it is so easy when God basically anoints you and appoints you to do it. Like when it's his timing, it was so easy for me to just flow with him and stuff like that. It was just it just came easy. God, the word says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And God definitely strengthens you to help you accomplish, what is and stuff like that. So, with that being said, you guys, that's really all that I have for today. Like I said, consecrate and surrendering just means to let go, to cleanse yourself of what was, so that you can bring in that new thing. That's the most important thing about it too, is God is bringing in that new thing. So he needs you to have tunnel vision. He needs you to have his undivided attention. And if you're over here bringing up what was, and you keep speaking to him about what was and what you once did, or what you once went through with him, and this whole past year, maybe this past year you've been through some things with him, and you keep bringing it up, you're going to block basically your blessings. You're going to block what God is trying to do. And this is the time to, buckle up, sit down, and get ready, and be locked in, because you got to have tunnel vision, But anyways, you guys, so with that being said, if you guys have any comments, questions, or anything you guys want to leave down below, please leave them down below. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe, and with that being said, I will talk to you guys in my next video.